Prime Minister is speaking in Jakarta.
It is wonderful to be back here in Indonesia for my fourth visit as Prime Minister, but my first bilateral visit of the second term. I chose Indonesia as the destination for this first visit very consciously, just as I did after the 2022 election. The relationship between Australia and Indonesia is so important. Important for our defence and security, important for our economic future, and important for the region. Indonesia will grow to be the fifth largest economy in the world by the end of the next decade. What that represents is an enormous opportunity to grow our economic relationships, which is why in our first term we commissioned Nicholas Moore to do the Southeast Asia Economic Strategy to 2040. What that did was outline the series of opportunities that will be there for investment in Southeast Asia, but also for investment back in Australia, for improving the relationships between our two great nations. And I must say that I was very honoured last night that President Prabowo came to the hotel here and we sat down with our foreign ministers as well for just an informal chat prior to the one-on-one leaders meeting that we'll hold this morning. It said something about the depth of the relationship and the extent of the friendship and warm relationship between our two nations, but also my warm relationship with the President, that he came here, sat in the hotel room, and we had a really good chat about elections, about the state of the world, and it was it was a great honour, and we certainly saw it as such. Today's visit is an important step forward in the relationship. This morning we will have a one-on-one leaders meeting, and then we'll have our dialogue between our respective teams. And that's why the presence of the Foreign Minister here, as well as the Minister for Home Affairs, is so important. The economic relationship between our two countries, I think, will continue to grow. It's important to recognise, as I did on previous visits, we discussed this last night, that of course Indonesia isn't just Jakarta or Java. It is the extraordinary archipelago, the diverse country and the extraordinary nation that represents one of the world's largest democracies. That is so important as we go forward. I'll ask Penny and then Tony to make some comments, and we're happy to take a few questions.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Can I say what an honour it is to accompany you and Minister Burke here to Jakarta again, and how wonderful it is to be back in Indonesia. As the Prime Minister said, Indonesia is just so important to Australia. It is so important to Australia bilaterally in terms of our relationship, our economic relationship, our strategic relationship. It's so important to Australia in our region because Indonesia is the largest country in ASEAN, the country whose leadership ASEAN looks to. And at a time of global uncertainty, what I would also say is that we recognise, the Albanese government, that our security and our stability comes from our region and from our relationships. We see Indonesia as critical to navigating this time of global uncertainty. We know that economic resilience matters. It always matters, and it matters even more so in a world which is more uncertain and more turbulent. And you build your economic resilience with stronger regional relationships. The sorts of work that the Prime Minister is discussing, the economic relationship as well as the strategic relationship with Indonesia. Our two nations share a bond of history, we share a bond of partnership, but we also are partners for the future. And I'm very excited at the opportunity of advancing that cooperation in this second term of the Albanese government.
Thanks very much. It's absolute pleasure and privilege to be back in Indonesia, and of course a particular privilege to be here joining with the Prime Minister on this specific delegation. As Minister for Home Affairs, it's my third time in this portfolio here in Indonesia. When I was first put in the portfolio, I flew here the day I was sworn in. This time we've flown here the day after the new ministry was sworn in. Across all the areas of Home Affairs, I've been in touch with my counterparts who've all sent warm messages following the election. The relationship across every part of Home Affairs with Indonesia is incredibly important. That goes across the Home Affairs and counter-terrorism areas, through to matters regarding people smuggling and other forms of trafficking, all the way through to cyber security as well. The relationship is one of partnership. It's one where the partnership with Indonesia is incredibly important to Australia, and one where I'm looking forward to being able to continue the strength of that relationship as part of this visit. Thanks, Prime Minister.